No, there's nothing
Flat,
much is
flat.
happening. We are live actually.
Hello and welcome to
Yes,
Bulls, Bear
Bull.
and Banter without the big bull.
The big bull.
Needed, sir.
Big bull is on leave.
So yes,
Yes.
so today was of course the big decision. On
Was
the
there a
repo.
decision?
It was supposed to be.
Acha.
I think markets had briefly gotten exuberant as well in the morning.
Saying
To
कि अच्छा
hope
शायद
कि
कट हो
शायद
जाए
से 25 bips or
कई
cut
चीख
है.
मार ले और गिर जाए.
Yeah, so I think they built it in because as soon as he announced that there's going to be no cut,
हाँ.
markets fell.
Hmm.
Marginally, but I mean you could see that intraday fall, and even the Nifty bank fell from the day's high to the day's low.
True. But Nifty Bank was going into the entire trade with a very high short position. If I was looking at the numbers yesterday, 1,200 crores of shorts were added to Nifty Bank yesterday, which takes the entire FPI. I'm talking about the foreign investors open interest positions, which was close to the expiry level. And that was a very high degree, which means nearly 50% of the entire Nifty open interest position, Nifty Bank open interest position was with FPIs. So they're sitting on a lot of short positions there. There was unwinding happening in HDFC, long unwinding happening in HDFC Bank, shorts added in ICCI and Kotak yesterday. So we were sitting on a short position in some fashion. What we could have seen is some kind of covering now, because the expectation which was building up of a cut would have been negative for the banks. That's not happening now, so there might be some kind of covering which will be there for the banks. But overall, it's a very thanda policy in the thanda trading day, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he particularly sounded dovish. He sounded neutral.
His stance is neutral.
Stance is neutral, but the hope was that he'll deliver a policy which is dovish.
So see now,
without a rate cut.
we have ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, and Axis and Kotak all are in positive. Though it's a flattish kind of thing, there is a covering of shorts which is happening there, because I think going into yesterday, when as you said, there was some kind of fear that there may be a August 25 bips cut that may come in, and if that comes in, then it's going to be more negative for the banks, because that's what we've been talking about, that the NIM is going to be compressing more, but that's not happening. So
see, last time the contra was in the June policy, the contra was a 50 bips rate cut.
Yeah.
Nobody expected, or rather very few people were talking about it.
So there were two unexpected things happened. One is a 50 bips cut, and one is a change in stance.
Yes.
From positive to neutral, basically.
Yes. Now and now a lot of people therefore had tilted themselves to believe that maybe the contra will play out even this time. At least in our newsroom, there were bulk of people who were saying that just like last time the contra played out, even this time the contra plays out. Yeah, but it didn't really play out in that fashion.
I think it's a wait and watch thing, and I think that was the right one, because in the last 2 days we've seen the Trump commentary which is coming in and talking about more tariff actions coming in, and then I think the tariff is not the one which we are more bothered about.
I think
it's a crude, and as a result of that, the INR which is going to be which is more. That's we are more bothered about. If Trump says that within 24 hours he's going to put another tariff on India, then there is going to be some kind of impact on the crude, and the crude prices going up. But till 80 we are fine. I think crude is now below 60, 68 or 68, I think, if I'm not wrong. So I think we have that $12 buffer which is there for us.
Right.
But what did you take away from Governor Malhotra's thing? Is he also wait and watch mode for what Trump is going to do?
Yeah, it's exactly that. And that's what I took out of it.
Yeah.
He's playing for time now. He didn't sound dovish at all. At least to me.
Inflation-wise, he was okay.
Fairly measured.
Inflation-wise, we are in
a good place.
But the question which I wanted to ask is, what was his outlook for growth? He has penciled in 6.3, 6.4% for FY26. Is it going to go
6.5?
6.5? Has he increased the growth? No. So he's kept
Growth
it
estimates remain as is.
as is.
So despite the rate cut, she's not seeing an upside surprise to growth.
So which is basically means that there's a risk which he's factoring in the growth because of the tariff which is going to come in.
Possibly. So I think this entire tariff thing I told you yesterday also is a little overdone. Most companies in India are saying कि हम तो pass on करेंगे. There are some sectors like chemicals which are suffering and therefore they will absorb some part of the tariff. But other than that, most companies are saying.
Hersh, you have to look it from a short-term and a long-term, medium-term perspective. Many of these chemical companies will have long, medium-term contracts, like 3 to 5 year contracts.
Yes.
So that contracts will build in that okay, any tariff will be passed on. But over a period of time, there will be negotiations happening because these are long-term things, right?
Yes.
So there has to be the band of the margins have to come down by a bit. You take some, I take some hit, kind of thing, which will come into play.
But sir, as I said, RK Forging day before yesterday, maybe day before yesterday, unequivocal, sir. Unequivocal. He said, boss, there's no way I'm going to absorb this on my books. And
what is the kind of exposure RK has to US?
So large exposure, I think 50%, 25% US and maybe 50% export. That's the way RK is tilted. So they are super bullish. They said, fine, if US doesn't buy, we'll sell to Europe. So there are some companies which are showing that confidence. Ki bhai, kuch bhi ho jaye, we'll figure it out. But there are some others, and a lot of the stocking he's already done in the US now.
So that happened in the first half, right?
He's already done that. So there's an inventory build-up which has happened, which he's saying, I'm willing to take that hit. Inventory build-up ka hit main le lunga, no problem. So my inventory has gone up. Yes, okay, fine. Chalo. But other than that,
in the period of Jan to June, India's exports to the US has gone up by 26%. Which is basically talking about the fact that there's a lot of front ending of exports which is happening.
That is evident.
At the same time, you have imports coming from China also increasing in the same, almost the same thing. So I was listening to some podcast and they were talking about that we exported mobile phones worth roughly around $4.7 billion to the US in the last one quarter. And we at the same time we imported components from China to the tune of roughly around 4.1 to 4.2 billion dollars. So the differential is the value add that we are putting in India and then selling it across to the US, right? So that's the kind of thing which has happened. So in the first half it's front ended, and this quarter is normally a muted quarter. I don't know how much is going to be a muted quarter for export imports basically.
So maybe last part of this discussion, while I agree with you that there will be an impact, but and there's also been a lot of front loading of exports. The other angle that is not logically adding up for me is the fact that there will have to be some amount which would be borne by the US consumer, some amount,
a large part.
I'm saying conservatively, even if it's 10% of this tariff, that will mean huge inflation in the US. Can they afford it at this hour? I don't think that the policies which are being structured there are really being logically understood as to what the impact of that is, or it's been logically understood and it's being used only as a bargaining chip. Either way, it may not have the impact, or it has a good probability or good chance that it may not have the impact that it likely will have on India. So I think it's been a little bit overdone for these 2-3 reasons.
From an inflation point of view, what I see is that there is trickling down of inflation going into the consumers as we speak. It's not as prominent, but it is happening. The other thing about whether US consumers are going to take a big hit, yes, they may be taking a big hit because there are already stores and retail stores already mentioning that because of tariff it's going to get expensive. Goods are going to get expensive. We don't know about services yet, but goods for sure are going to get expensive, which is happening. If that is the case, then we are looking at a September cut, and now the state is penciling in a September cut. It would be very difficult for, I think, Powell to not to cut, especially after the kind of revision to the jobs that happened. And
but he knows it's a revision. He's very, very cognizant it's a revision.
Yes.
And he's not on Trump's side.
He's not on the Trump side, but
He has to take care of the economy.
No, true. But the problem was that this revision is the steepest revision in 43 years. That is what is the issue. And
that's exactly what I'm saying.
And that.
So it's very unlikely that he might buy into this revision, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, he might not buy into it. He might say, boss, this is rigged. I don't agree with these numbers fully anymore.
Who?
Powell.
Could be. But then whatever number, see, when the numbers were good, you said the numbers are good, I'm not doing it. When the numbers are bad, you can't say that numbers are bad, I'm not doing it.
No, but it's bad because of a reason, right? Because there's pressure from President Trump that show the numbers badly.
No.
He sacked the labor secretary.
For showing it showing it good.
For showing it well. So he sacked him. Which is why there is pressure now.
So did you get to hear what Trump's interview yesterday on CNBC? It's a 40-minute interview, which I
haven't heard this.
He called in.
I don't watch CNBC.
No,
I only watch NDTV. Hit like, guys.
I'm talking about the global CNBC. He called in, and for 40 minutes he spoke, and he's talking about how the world is conspiring against him against him, and that's what he talks about.
But that's what I'm saying, sir. I genuinely don't believe that Powell is of that camp that I will cut, especially in such an uncertain environment. It will send the wrong message to dollar investors that Powell will bend the knee if Trump tweaks a couple of things. It will send the wrong message. And that is exactly what they don't want when there's a $37 trillion deficit that they are sitting on, which is currently needing to be serviced at 4.5%. They don't want that, because it might well be the case that he may cut, but rates may go up.
But 10-year has come down, by the way.
No.
4.17.
That's what I'm trying to say, sir. He wants to control it. If he wants to control it, he will do the sensible thing. He will not go out and be aggressive. He will give the market what the market wants. If he cuts, and by chance the market senses that he's gone on Trump's team, then the repercussion will be that this 4.1 will become 4.5 because your bond prices will crash. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
Let's see. There are a couple of IPOs that got listed. NSDL.
So firstly, guys, you have to hit like.
Yes, hit like.
Please.
Like and thumbs up.
Right? Yes, yeah. Subscribe and comment and send us your questions after that. Yes. Only after that. Okay, anyway.
There are a couple of companies which are listing.
You want to take MNB Engineering, because I haven't
seen
anything about
I did a interview with them, and they're basically into prefabrication.
I think I read about this company. Yes.
Prefabrication, which basically means that every time you do a capex or something, there is you're required to build prefabrication and everything. And these guys built that. And they were talking about that there is good demand for them happening in all over the country for them in that sense. And but there is the demand is coming from only select industries, actually steel, those kind of industries which are coming out with a demand for them. It's not a homogeneous demand which is coming in. So if capex cycle has to pick up, and we were talking about capex yesterday, where we were talking about that private capex has slowed down a bit, so they will be one of the people who will be hit if private capex is doing a slow roll, which is happening. The other is NSDL. I think good listing. I think 12 to 14%. I think 880 was the discount price, and it's trading around 910, 914 now. That's also a good one. And you were telling me before the show, right? I mean, it's just few rupees away from valuation which is similar to a CDS.
160 rupees.
160 rupees.
Around 15%. Time hai. But CDSL has fallen around 1%. While we were discussing, I just checked.
Yes. So so I spoke to Vijay Chandok, and I think you should drop that interview here. Yeah. He gave a basically idea about how the company works, and his view was that we are insulated to a certain extent from the capital markets, especially transaction revenue point of view. So they have 42% coming in from recurring income, 58% comes from transaction income. But within the transaction income, the settlements and others and pledge shares, those are the ones which are very volatile in terms of capital markets. Those are very small items within that that transaction revenue. So he's talking about 19 to 20%, 21% growth, CAGR growth, which they have been growing at, and he thinks that we will grow at that kind of CAGR going forward. So from a CDSL to NSDL,
CAGR of
19% top line and 21% PAT. Simple. So he's saying that we will grow at that rate. And even in Q1, when CDSL numbers were not so great, he said we grew at that one, that much. So the impact of capital market transactions coming down or volumes coming down has minimum impact on NSDL from that, because they have 7 to 9 verticals, revenue verticals, which are there. So
including payments bank.
And in the payment bank, they're going to go for 3-in-1.
Yes.
So which is going to be a big one. If they come into the 3-in-1, then it's going to impact all those discount broking, because now they have payment banks, the NSDL, they just have to start the demat and other stuff which is there, right? So and they have their own what do you call vendor system, or what do you call partner systems. So they will not go into broking. They will have brokers joining in and doing it. So
but the broker fees will come down.
Yeah, it will come down
because
yeah. So
they'll be able to retain rather a larger share of the.
Yeah, I mean it's an economy of scale which they're going to play out, which is there, which.
So I'll tell you what my worry is with regard to some of these businesses. आज 1500 करोड़ 1600 करोड़ का टॉप लाइन करता है NSDL, 20% ग्रोथ पे 2000 करोड़ and 20% more growth. FY27 ले लेते हैं 2500 करोड़, right? At 2500 crore, it still trades at 6 times sales. 6 times, right? I understand it's a 30% margin business, etc., etc. All good in that sense, but that's still large for me. 6 times sales is still to some extent expensive, and what it does is basically it has to be a lifetime hold kind of a stock. So I can make returns only over the very long term because of valuation mismatches, and you don't know when and if it will correct, or if something goes wrong, it will correct. You can't do without an NSDL. So over the 10-year period, you will still do well.
So I look at from two perspectives, right? Is this business competitive? Yes, it is competitive. But can a third player come and create a havoc in this business?
No.
Answer is no.
No.
So there is only one NSDL, one CDSL, which is there. So there is it's a two pony race which is there. In
Correct.
This. Where is the growth going to come in, and where is the concentration risk which is there? The concentration risk, it seems at this point in time, is with CDSL and not with NSDL.
Yes.
And one of the questions that I asked him also was that your active demat accounts are 3.9 and CDSL is 15 crores. In the last 5 years, you've been not active only. CDSL ran away with it. He said, yes, some of my partners were slow in. So his partners are the old economy brokers. CDSL has all the discount brokers.
Yeah, I know.
So, it comes from there, right?
Yes.
So when the transaction volumes is going to get hit, the CDSL transaction partners are going to hit more. And so CDSL will get hit more. And the revenue impact or the profitability impact on NSDL is not going to be much. And at the end of the day, if you're talking about expansion in the capital market, these two companies, CDSL and NSDL, will eventually converge to a model which will be sustaining in that nature.
Correct. I agree.
It's basically something like a annuity kind of growth which they will have.
The model is sustainable even today.
It
is
very,
very sustainable. The only question is what price you're paying for it. Now, a Zomato does around 25,000 crore of top line, valued at 3 lakh crore.
25,000 crores of GMV. I don't say that that's top line.
Fair. But from Neeraj sir's standpoint, because he's absent, I'm arguing from his standpoint, 25,000 crore. So trading at 12 times sales versus an NSDL, certainly looking cheap in a duopoly kind of market.
And both are platform businesses.
Both are platform businesses.
And this one is much more profitable than and with high margins.
And more required and regulatory moats to try and not have other players come in.
Yes, and see, and there are multiple avenues for them to grow multiple areas.
Yes,
which is there.
for sure.
So if you compare them on a platform to platform basis, they have
NSDL surely looking better.
NSDL, CDSL both looks
Both
better.
looking better. CDSL trades at around 25 times, so that's even more expensive than NSDL, but makes better margins.
Yes. So one of the shareholders who was there, they didn't participate in the OFS, but they were there. They said we're not going to sell at this price.
Of course not.
They said the price is much more than this, and we will wait for the price because it will go there.
It's a lifetime hold.
Yes,
it's a lifetime.
Yeah, and those are institutional investors who are planning to sell, right?
Yeah,
so in that sense.
Okay. So Parag Kothari is asking, is the market oversold? I, in this relation, want to ask you, I understand very less of FNO. ठीक है? So आप बताइए ये जो FII ओनरशिप लॉन्ग शॉर्ट रेशियो पे बहुत चर्चा हो रही है
आज तो बहुत हुई होगी
और हाँ और इस पे ट्वीट्स भी काफी आ गए हैं
अच्छा ट्वीट्स भी आए
ट्वीट थ्रेड्स लिखे गए हैं इस पे आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड इट एज वेल
आज महाभारत लिखी गई है उसमें कि इसका मतलब क्या होता है
सो मुझे बताइए सर इसका मतलब क्या होता है एंड is there a possibility of a rebound from here because a couple of people told me that on average the market goes up 7% when something like this happens
वो तो एक ट्वीट में बोला था ना एक ट्वीट में जो 7%
और उसके बाद डिस्कस भी किया गया था न्यूज़ रूम में by people who understand the space. I don't understand it, so I don't indulge.
So I'll tell you what is actually, right? This data is based on the transactions which are done by the FPIs, and NSE does a very good job of collating this data and putting it out in a raw format. And we like our newsroom, we have our softwares to integrate the data to check out what is it based on the data of call, put, and futures, shorts and longs which are there, which we calculate everything, and we figure and our data suggests that FPI long positions at this point in time are at 8.4%, which basically means that roughly around 92.6 is long shorts which are there. I'm talking about index पोजीशन एंड इंडेक्स में आप उसमें ब्रेकअप कर सकते हो बैंक अलग है निफ्टी फ्यूचर्स अलग है फिन निफ्टी अलग है वो सब आप कर सकते हो बट मेजरली बैंक एंड फिन निफ्टी है दैट इज द थिंग व्हिच वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट लेट्स पुट दिस इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट you have 43 as of yesterday. I don't know the turnover now, I haven't seen it. As of yesterday the total nifty open interest positions was around 44,000 crores, and you had the Nifty Bank open interest position, which is the outstanding amount which is there, is around 15,000 crores. So you're talking about 59,000 crores का open interest position है total में ये दोनों index futures में उसमें से टोटल जो पोजीशन इन दोनों का दिख रहा है मुझे वो ये है कि 7,500 तो सिर्फ निफ्टी बैंक का है और 23,000 करोड़ के आसपास निफ्टी फ्यूचर्स का है तो मतलब 30,000 करोड़ आउट ऑफ 60,000. So nearly 50% of the market-wide position of open interest position जो लोगों ने लेके रखे हुए हैं जिसमें आपके रिटेल आ गया इंस्टीट्यूशन आ गया म्यूचुअल फंड आ गया सब कुछ आ गया वो एफआईआई के पास पड़ा है. अब उस एफआईआई की पोजीशन के अंदर उसका जो ब्रेकअप है वो ब्रेकअप ये है कहता है कि 8.4% ही लॉन्ग है बाकी सब शॉर्ट्स है एंड दिस हैज बीन
अराउंड 2000 करोड़ का लॉन्ग है.
यस
2500 करोड़ का लॉन्ग है और बैलेंस
शॉर्ट
27,500 करोड़ का शॉर्ट ब्रॉड लेवल है गाइस ब्रॉड.
तो डिबेट कहाँ आता है? डिबेट ये आता है कि भाई हमारे पास जो डेटा है हम जो डेटा देखा है वो 2023 से देखा डेटा उसके पहले उतना वो नहीं होता था अभी
बढ़ गया.
हाँ मतलब डेटा हैज स्टार्टेड कमिंग इन एंड अदर स्टफ व्हिच हैज हैपेंड राइट. सो the long position is the lowest in the last 2 years since beginning of 2023 for us. We saw the similar thing happening on Friday after the expiry. Why is that? We thought July was the most volatile month. We began July with saying, अरे जुलाई तो हमेशा पॉजिटिव में बंद होता है पर जुलाई पॉजिटिव में बंद हुआ roughly 3% नीचे बंद हुआ and at the end of that the open interest position जो लेके हम बंद हुए थे that was also at the highest level. We are sitting in very high short positions in the market. There are two triggers which are happening and clearly the triggers are going to be FI led. And and sometimes it's scary as well, right? The thing is that if there is a negative thing which comes in, the market will have a sharp fall. If there is a positive thing that happens. There will be a sharp rebound which will happen from here. What we have seen is that whenever it goes down to 8% of long position or something, there is a rebound that happens of 5 to 7%. Last time we saw a little bit of happening, and then again we came down. People are talking about that कि अच्छा लास्ट टाइम हुआ था पिछले 2-3 साल में 4 बार हुआ है ऐसा कि लेस देन 15% लॉन्ग हुआ है ऐसे भाई लॉन्ग 15% से नीचे बहुत हम डेली ट्रैक कर रहे हो वो तो 15% के नीचे ही पड़ा हुआ है बट पॉइंट ये है कि इट इज it's a pivot from here. Either it can fall or it can go. But दोनों केस में there is a rebound expected. If there is a positive thing comes in, any action, assume करो, let's assume Trump says okay I'm going to reduce it to 10%. The shorts which are there will be covered immediately and the market will rebound. People will be caught on the wrong side for the FIs. If Trump says no, I'm going to make it from 25, I'm going to make it 50%, then there may be a market fall which happens, and at that time the shorts may get unwound or covered, so the people who are sitting on shorts for so long will cover the position. Either case, there will be a rebound which will happen. So the question is कि कौन सा rebound सबसे ज़्यादा furious हो aggressive होने वाला है. So that is the whole debate about things, and that's why we in India Market Open we have a segment on FNO where we talk about what is the long short positions which are there and how open interest positions are moving for each and every. Yesterday 900 crores of net shorts were in Nifty futures and 1200 crores of net shorts in Nifty Bank. That was interesting because today was an RBI policy and people, and we began by saying, right, people are expecting that there's chance कि शायद 25 basis point काट दे तो लोगों ने already advanced, FIs already took that short position and kept it ready. But नहीं हुआ तो now these three stocks are up. Also yesterday was a sensex sensex options का जो expiry था वो भी है. So that's something. So these are some of the technical factors which are playing around. Sure. But fundamentally, there is only one trigger for the fundamental. When suddenly someone has to say, I'm going to come and buy 10,000 crores, market भाग जाएगा. या कोई बेचने आएगा तो मार्केट भाग जाएगा. FI कैश नंबर्स को हम कल का नहीं देख सकते क्योंकि there are 3,800 crores का तो तुम्हारा पेटीएम ही था. Right, so a large part of that would have gone to the domestic mutual fund. Some part of
SocGen was the buyer.
Completely?
No, around 1%. SocGen and SocGen ODI. SocGen, guys, is Society General. For those who.
So then the net 22 crores ka net sell jo hai, that means you remove that SocGen part of it. It is net sell, right? In that sense. So FI ka jo kal portion hai, you have to just factor in that kind of SocGen.
1% was SocGen.
5 में से 1% ना, मतलब 600 करोड़ 600-700 करोड़ खरीदा. हाँ 700 करोड़ खरीदा उसने.
1/6.
हाँ उतना. So let's take questions and finish it off.
So we are taking questions already. What's your view on PVR? Do you have a view on PVR? Is it going to be a steady compounder? Is it going to are you expecting sharp moves, multi-bagger returns?
No, I don't.
You are an OTT fan, so it's going to be difficult to expect PVR to do one.
No. See, the point is that even if I am an OTT fan, I have 2 kids, so I have to take them to a theater. Simple as that. Okay. So let's be very practical.
I haven't gone to a theater in I don't know how long.
So don't worry. In a year or two, she will take you to the theater when you have to take her for all the cartoons and everything. Don't worry. But point is that every time you go in, you have to pay. You end up paying roughly around 2,000 to 3,000 rupees for 4 people.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Popcorn.
Yes, popcorn. So am I optimistic on the distribution business? The answer is no, I'm not, because there is a platform change which is happening and things are changing fast. Is the distribution business going to die down? Answer is no. There's still India still is under penetrated with respect to theaters and all. The question is now that you have states now monitoring or putting curbs of rates on all the theaters for tickets and everything. You have Tamil Nadu which has done it. There's a proposal in Karnataka. There's some proposal in Kerala. And these are the markets which are the biggest markets for multiplex or multi-screen theaters
Hmm,
basically.
hmm, hmm, hmm.
uh, and if that's going to happen there, then the growth is going to be limited, and it will be more like an F&B player. So then we will have to look at the valuation from a QSR point of view, and not
Interesting.
simple.
Yeah, so that's the view, that's the take on PVR. I mean, if I were to be asked an opinion, I'm not exactly the most bullish on PVR. Frankly, there are better opportunities available. What's the take on PFC now? PFC is something I track closely. 407. If that's the current market price, is what Warren Buffett has said. Firstly, thanks Warren for asking me a question. It's it's an honor answering this. Jokes apart, but yeah. So at 407, roughly 1.1 time book, it's not looking particularly expensive. In fact, most analysts on the street are fairly bullish on PFC. Very few bears on both of these, REC and PFC. But we've seen a sustained consolidation in the stock price. So these things can remain that way for a long period of time. You might want to be patient with something like this because it's not particularly expensive, and it's reasonably safe. They're looking at net NPA ratio of 0%. Soon enough, we also have Bajaj Auto's earnings, which have just
I
come.
think it's met street estimates.
Yeah, lower dollar realization impacting margins. But sorry. So back to PFC. There are a couple of brokerages super bullish, more than a 50% upside that Macquarie has placed on a PFC, which has really stood out. So you want to keep it on your radar, of course, but you want to be conscious of the timeline that you're keeping as well in mind. Ayush Lalani, what impact of substantial tariff, and so we need to now do rapid fire.
Yes.
What impact of substantial tariff hikes will have on Indian IT sector and the indices is what Ayush is asking.
In the last 10 days, I'm hearing a lot of chatter, and I'm just putting in here that American banks are now struggling to get businesses because of the tariff issue, especially from non-US deals. A lot of non-US deals are now going to regional and local banks instead of going to the American banks. We saw that happening in European markets, where a lot of deals have in the past have US banks have lost out on the deals, especially because of the tariff which is happening. If that is the case, then there is an issue, red warning, red flag, which is coming for their growth going there. The second thing is that you have a Trump administration which is adverse to follow those big banks of the JP Morgan, the Bank of America. And yesterday, when I was talking to you about that interview which he was saying, and he was blasting them, saying that he's trying to put in some executive order that put penalty on these banks going forward. So I don't know what exactly. I haven't gone to the thing, but what I've read is that the top banks of US are now showing deal slowdowns, and that deal slowdown may have an impact or bearing on indirectly on the Indian IT, because Indian IT, BFSI being the biggest segment for them, they were already struggling because discretionary spends were not coming in. Now the slowdown in deals may also have an impact, which is going to be there. So I don't know exactly. It is just the early trend. So just keep a watch on this tariff thing and how it's playing out both in US and European markets.
Okay. Excite, been one of the biggest laggards lately, tends to fall more than rise compared to others. Based on my analysis, the recent results look good. I'd love to hear your view. Do you have a view?
No, I haven't had a look at Excite numbers, but
so
yes,
what we'll do is we'll just ask analysts on India market close.
Maybe we will get Puneet over one of the days, and we'll put all those auto questions to him.
Yeah, and I'll also study it a bit.
Yeah.
And we'll ask on India market close as well. So join us for that. N is asking, share some thoughts about REIT, IPO of Knowledge Park. Good time to invest in bond, NCs or credit risk fund as market seems to be going nowhere. So quick one, huh? So because we're at 12:40.
Okay. REIT, we've been talking about this as an asset class where now suddenly we have seen a lot of interest coming in from retail. Two things. One, you have a short distribution income which is coming in from all these companies because of the kind of investments they have done in the real estate and the kind of returns they get from there or income they get from there. The second is the capital value which is coming in. 2 years back, people were a little apprehensive about REITs. Today, every portfolio has some bit of REIT or an InvIT in it because of this asset class, which is giving you double, returns. One in terms of an assured distribution income, and the second one is the capital appreciation, which is happening. So I think it is I haven't seen knowledge read very clearly what exactly it does, but go through the RHP, look at what are the assets which they have, and then work. I think if I'm not wrong, knowledge read also looks at the one BK season out, right? No.
I don't know, sir. I haven't looked at this IPO.
Go through the RHP. Maybe I will also look at it once, and then I'll come back and tell you what exactly it is.
Aditya, Infotech पे कोई है क्या? Because sir, stellar listing yesterday. We had
50% plus listing, right?
Yeah, we had a good, well-reputed fund come in and pick up stake as well at an elevated valuation of 1,020. Give us some color on that. Ayush Lalani wants to know.
There are very few companies which are into the security and surveillance business, and Aditya Infotech being one. It's a profitable company, I think. Yeah, it is. It's a profitable company, and they make the brands, right, which you have, the consumer brand CP Plus. That's a brand they make, and I think we all know about that brand. And I think from that point of view, surveillance is going to be, or security and surveillance are going to be key ingredients. At some point in time, it was only limited to institutional and big offices. Today, every household or outside every household, you have that, and these are available easily and easy to install kind of thing, right? I mean, all are IP based, internet based, and you can monitor everything. So I think there is a good growth, rundown or a pathway for them. It all depends upon. I think there are a couple of more such companies which are coming into the market going forward. But as Hersh was saying, there is a which was a fund who came in.
I'll tell you 1 second.
Because
I read it today morning.
Yeah, means there is a
Invesco. I think.
Yeah. Okay.
But I will just in 1 minute I will reconfirm. Mostly it was Invesco only.
Yeah, so you have institutional investors now coming into the fund, then there will be a demand which is coming in, right?
Yeah.
Any other questions we have? We are running out of.
So we are actually completely
Bajaj Finance is the last question that you can answer. Nilesh PR is asking that question.
There's no reason why it's falling.
Why is Bajaj Finance?
Invesco Mutual Fund has bought 10 lakh shares at 1,023 rupees a piece. So
why is Bajaj Finance falling? Despite Rajiv Bajaj coming back in
Rajiv Jain.
Yeah.
So 2-3 things, right? I think markets in general are trending negative. So you're seeing pressure across the board. Also, the run-up for Bajaj Finance has been very, very strong. You look at September to now, right, which is now nearly 11 months. The stock is still up maybe 30%. And it's a Nifty 50 counter, which is up 30%. Where markets have gone nowhere, frankly. September to September. In fact, we are down. So we've already seen a fairly healthy run-up.
Numbers are out?
The numbers were good. They are positive with regard to credit cost going forward, Q2, but Q3 onwards it will fall, is what they are saying. Some concern they voiced around MSME, and that's why the stock nosedived on the day of the result, because they said MSME is a concern.
I think we saw that happening in Lakshmi Finance as well, right? The stock was down 10% on listing because they have the biggest exposure to MSME. Correct. So that MSME space is now becoming a stress point for within the banking sector.
So we'll have to see as to whether that plays out, because Bajaj Finance voiced it, others haven't yet voiced it. So we still need to wait and watch.
Bajaj always does it a quarter or two before anyone else.
Always. So I want to see whether that actually plays out. But for the moment, they were saying that there's no concern. I would wait and watch up to Q2. So I don't think that it's that big a deal. But a predominant part of the fall from 950 to 900 was because of this. And it's also the run-up here. I mean, you have to factor that in. Stock up from 650 to 950 in a matter of 10 months. You will see small corrections.
And to cap it, yesterday we were talking about the Nifty growth, and Neeraj was very bullish about Nifty growing at 8 to 10% or 11% there, and I was saying no, it's going to be around 5 to 6%. And I was basing entirely on the basis of the financial services, because what we expected was financial services to do very well. It is not doing so well in the first quarter. And if private capex is not picking up, then disbursements are not going to be much big.
Possibly.
So you have unsecured, which is a stress, or which is slow. It's not a stress any longer. Many of them have taken it out. But you have MSMEs. Private capex is slow. and then the only thing which is dependent on is the public and state or the government capex, which has been slow to begin with because they expected private to come in, but private hasn't come in.
Yes.
So, so, so the banking growth is maybe something slower than we expect in FY26.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. That's all the time we have today.